Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just when you think you've seen it all, there is more to unpack here following the media scrum at All Out involving CM Punk and the EVPs, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page. This is Bainbridge Omega giving you my analysis of what has transpired. So now the whole wrestling world is talking. And now they have followed up on what happened after the media scrum, in which CM Punk basically just aired out all the dirty laundry involving Colt Cabana, and basically calling out the EVPs as being unprofessional, dickheads, and basically childish children. So after the media scrum was over, CM Punk went back into the locker room, and the Bucks and Omega approached him with violent intentions. And I'm just going to read some passages here from cagehideseats.com so you know what's going on. So reports quickly got out that shortly after he finished speaking to him backstage, the Elite did indeed go to him, and a melee ensued. Fightful and Wrestling Observer have reported on some details. They said an actual fight did went down, with Punk starting things by a swinging fist at the Bucks' Matt Jackson. Punk's trainer, Ace Steel, was also involved, and apparently threw a chair that hit Nick Jackson in the eye. Kenny Omega was allegedly involved, and Steel apparently bit him and grabbed his hair. Oh my God. So they also report part of the reason no one has publicly commented on all of this is due to potential legal issues. There is a precedent for some kind of suspension here, considering Eddie Kingston was recently put on the shelf for a short time following a backstage fight with Sammy Guevara. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that in a minute, because in my honest opinion here, if a fight ensued and people were trying to break up, I heard that AEW personnel were on the scene trying to break up the situation, as in they were trying to save lives. That's what I was hearing from this. But Tony Khan, you suspended Eddie Kingston for pie-facing Sammy Guevara, due to his actions. You suspended him for 2 weeks. You gotta have to do the same here. Otherwise, Eddie Kingston would have been right all along about the whole entire situation. You don't want to piss off. You don't want to get Eddie Kingston involved in this situation. Tony Khan, you will have to do the right thing, and you got to suspend Punk. You will have to fire Ace Steel, because what he did physically was unprofessional. And you will also have to suspend the Bucks and Omega as well, and maybe even go as far as removing the EVP status from them. They should not be EVPs anymore. An executive vice president do not go into a person's locker room and start a brawl. That does not happen. Alright? You gotta grow some balls, and you gotta suspend everyone involved for at least 2 weeks. There is gonna be some reasoning behind that. Right? But I want to add some more things here. This is coming from Wrestling Observer. There are different stories who has started a fight between... It's about who started a fight between CM Punk, Ace Steel, and Kenny Omega. So Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, they are saying that Punk threw the first punch when the Bucks came into the room, and the brawl broke out while the other side... where the brawl broke out, while the other side says that the Bucks were the aggressors and Punk and Steel were just defending themselves. So obviously Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez will go on the side of the Bucks and Omega and say all things that Punk was very unprofessional in what he said and airing out their dirty laundry on a media scrum and just gaslighting and inciting the whole thing. You know, little millennial terms that they just want to throw out there just to indicate the fact that they're pussies. But I digress. All right. He could have confirmed the rumor that Punk was hurt during the fight. I hope he's not hurt. That will really freaking suck. They reiterated that this situation is not a work and that police were involved that night. Alvarez said at first that there were a small number of people in the room and that a large amount of people when the fight broke out. Both Meltzer and Alvarez said those who witnessed what happened will have to talk to AEW personnel and legal regarding what happened. Both were unsure how Tony Khan and his team are going to handle the situation before Wednesday's Dynamite in Buffalo, New York. Meltzer opened that if something happens to Steele, Punk will want to walk, given as his longtime friend and an original trainer. So this is getting very, very dicey here. This is very scary here. If CM Punk leaves, walks out of AEW, I think I may be done with watching AEW because you're just basically saying, well, these trampling guys, I can't believe I'm even saying this about the Young Bucks because I used to like them, but you know, I don't know. Honestly, in a perfect world, I hope that Punk and A Steel do not get reprimanded on this. I hope that the Bucks and Omega do get reprimanded on this for even approaching him. Why would you go and immediately approach CM Punk when obviously he was pissed off? The man just won the AEW championship. He had a media scrum. The name Scott Colton came up. He got extremely angry about it. And then he silently went back into his locker room. And you want to approach him after that? You wanted to start something after that? Really? How stupid are you? You couldn't wait a day or a few days after that? You know, let's clear some heads in the room. Like what a professional EVP would do. Right? A professional EVP would just, you know, let's just cool things off for a couple of days. I know everyone is angry. Let's get back to it a couple of days later and clear the air. But no. You want to come in at the heat of the moment. And what do you think was going to happen? There's so much adrenaline, testosterone, all that shit going on here. Now, for those who are shocked about all of this and how, you know, this shouldn't have never happened. This is supposed to be a place where everyone is happy. Or, you know, these brawls are very unprofessional. Listen, it's the wrestling business, kid. You're going to expect fights to happen like this all the time. Right? Fights like this always happen behind closed doors. It just so happens that it's all leaked out on the forefront. I mean, anyone remembers Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, you know, Wrestling with Shadows, that documentary? They were at odds with each other constantly. The boss of the company, Vince McMahon, screwed Bret Hart out of the championship in Montreal. Bret Hart came into his office and knocked his lights out. Dude, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. When you're in the wrestling business and you're dealing with a lot of egos, there are going to be tensions. Weren't there tensions between Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar? There's going to be fights. You know? It's like the UFC. It's like everything else. People want to fight each other for the sake of fighting each other. You know? But if I was Tony Khan, and if I was AEW as a whole, here's what I will do. I will suspend all of them for 2 weeks. I don't know what you have to do with Ace Steel. I hope he doesn't get fired. He should not get fired. He's just defending himself. It was wrong for him to get involved because he's a non-wrestler and everything like that, but that's a different story altogether. You suspend both of them for 2 weeks, and then you sit down and you talk to them. You said, listen, look, I understand there's a lot of beef going on between all of you and this, Scott Colton situation, this Colt Cabana situation. I need you to settle your differences right now for the sake of turning this into a long feud program, which in turn will make AEW a lot of money. Because Eric Bischoff said it best. Controversy creates cash. Controversy creates cash. What does that mean? You have a storyline in your hands right now, Tony Khan. You have a storyline involving CM Punk, Kenny Omega, that will make a lot of money. I can see pay-per-view buy rates. I could see $1 million gates. I could see a hugely sellout crowd in Offer Stadium in the next couple of weeks, which, by the way, I will be on hand. So check me out. Yeah, there is so much that you could do with this program. If you could just settle your fucking differences for just 1 second. Just be professional for just 1 second. You don't have to talk to each other. You got to deal with all that shit. But, man, you could give the receipts to each other when we're in a stage in which there is an audience watching, in which there are ticket holders, in which there are people buying this on pay-per-view. Make money with this. Do something. This is the unpredictability that got people talking about AEW. Listen, this whole entire weekend should have been mostly about what happened in Cardiff and the pay-per-view itself, right? And MJF coming back. And none of those have made the headline. This right here made the New York Post. The New York Post, dude. It's not often that a New York newspaper company would even bother reporting wrestling news unless someone died. Dude, they are the talk of the town right now, for bad or for worse. And you need to make money off of this, Tony Khan. You got to do something. You really got to do something. And this is how the storyline plays off. If you are a fan, if you are truly a fan of long-term booking, this is what has transpired so far. And this is coming from SB Nation, all right? Here are the cliff notes. Colton and Punk, formerly best friends, they have a very real falling out over a lawsuit stemming from a podcast the two did together in 2014 when they made claims about a WWE doctor who sued them. Punk, who was far wealthier, allegedly offered to cover the legal fees from the suit, to which Colton agrees he never did. The pair then sued each other and eventually settled. On an episode of AEW Dynamite, Hangman Adam Page, who is involved in a feud with Punk, referenced friction backstage caused by Punk and accused him of ruining the company. Right? Punk accused Page of going into business for himself, which is wrestling parlance for someone who ignores a pre-arranged script or angle to cut a promo without their opponent's knowledge. Right? By the way, Hangman Adam Page is best friends with Colt Cabana. The Bucks are best friends with Colt Cabana. In response, Punk called out Page after coming back from foot injury months at the time. He called out Page in a July episode in AEW Dynamite, knowing Page was not backstage and unprepared to respond. Omega, Nick, and Matt Jackson, who are executive vice presidents of the company, were rumored to have sided with Page over Punk, causing more friction. That leads to what happened on Sunday. Punk believes the four wrestlers leaked to reporters that Punk had Colton pulled from AEW and moved to owner Tony Khan's smaller wrestling promotion, Ring of Honor, due to the drama stealing from the lawsuits. You can script this whole thing up into something big, and Punk, Omega, and the Bucks can just beat the living hell out of each other. As a matter of fact, in a perfect world, and please, God or whatever universe is out there, how about this? Blood and guts. We're going to have blood and guts. You have All Elite, which is the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page, versus CM Punk, FTR, and let's throw in Wardlow in there. Just for shits and giggles. Let's throw in Wardlow in there. You don't think that will not sell tickets? You don't think that there will be rivaling fans out there going back and forth? You know? And let's talk about the fans for a minute. Because you fans, well, you fans already made up your minds about who you support way before the media scrum started, right? Those who hate CM Punk before the media scrum hates him even more now and wants him gone. Those who do not like the Young Bucks because of how they politic themselves into getting title opportunities, into preventing another tag team like FTR not getting the payoff that they so rightfully deserve for being the best tag team in the world, not allowing FTR to be part of the AEW video game, thus results in giving them more money to feed their families because they were jealous of their popularity, and just basically politicking and just bringing in wrestlers who obviously do not deserve to be working on national television. You're gonna side with CM Punk wholeheartedly after the media scrum. So it's a tale of two swords. You're either for pro Punk or you're pro Elite. That's how it is. It's a civil war now. It is now officially a civil war, split down the middle between those two sides. The only question is, what does the AEW locker room feels about this? Right? Because they will eventually have to pick a side. And that's going to cause even more tension. And it's going to cause even more headaches for Tony Khan to do that. You see, Tony Khan, this is what happens when you decided to become the owner, the GM, the booker, the guy running everything, and not have a committee of individuals outside who can handle these situations properly. The reason that the WWE has gone on without a hitch and without any negative, press coverage up to this point is because that you have guys like The Undertaker, putting people in their place when shit like this tends to happen. Right now, there isn't one individual putting people in their place. Shout out to Chris Jericho, though, being the voice of reason and trying to cool off this entire situation and having these people try to work together. But it's now Tuesday. You have 24 hours plus more hours on top of between to clean this shit up before Dynamite opens up on Wednesday, because the entire world is going to be watching, wondering what's going to happen next. You're going to get your 1 million buys, Tony Khan. It's no secret that people are going to tune in because they want to know what happened to CM Punk, what happened to the Bucks, and on another note, what happened with Jon Moxley and what's going to happen with MJF. My God, you got a smorgasbord of craziness on your plate that you can be able to unleash to your audience come Wednesday. I know I can't wait. I know a lot of people who watch AEW can't wait. And the casual fan who is right now opening up their daily newspaper, the casual person who probably doesn't even pay attention to pro wrestling at all, is going to be looking at this news report from the New York Post and like, oh shit, CM Punk in a fight with these guys, AEW in turmoil, what the hell is going on? I may just want to watch. I may just want to watch it and see what happens. Controversy creates cash. That's going to be the theme leading up to Wednesday. I don't know what's going to happen. I really hope they will figure out a way to smooth things out and basically do something about this. Right? And we'll just have to wait and see. Now, if you like what you're seeing here, if you got comments, please comment onto the channel. Please like and subscribe to this channel so I can bring out more content to you. And we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. I'll be on hand. I'll probably do a Twitch stream regarding it. So look out for that. But until then, this is Bainbridge Omega's saying so long for now. And we'll see you tomorrow night for Dynamite.